Hello all, this is I guess part number 4 of what I've learned as a new potter. Dan Matichek here, Pittsburgh. One of the things that I learned that I kind of already knew from messing with clay for the last couple of years doing other things is when you're, and it's exaggerated on the wheel because you're working with clay, moisture clay and clay with water, you know, and which is going to make it out obviously moisture as it absorbs. And that's one of the things I touched on before, and that's touching it, being very careful not to touch it. And I spend, and this is pretty important. Let me show you real quickly again, in case you didn't see before. These are what I'm making. It's the bottom of a planter with a hole in the middle for its upside down tomato plant holder. It's going to be a pot in the center, cylinder, and soil, and the plant will be upside down, hanging upside down from a shepherd's hook. Spend more time worrying about the orientation. Watching Simon Leach, and I thought, man, he spends a lot of time just, you know, like he'll touch that little handle like, you know, 10 times sometimes or more after it's already on, and it looks good to me. But now I realize why. It's about, you know, because I'm thinking, at first I'm thinking, well, I'm putting fingerprints on it and little marks, you know, and maybe it's because they don't really show up on YouTube. You can't really see that kind of detail as if it were live. But now I realize why. What's important is the angle of it, the shape of it. That's important. Don't worry about, you know, marking it up with little dabs from your finger or your wet hands, making little marks. That's stuff that is so easily cleaned up afterwards. It's ridiculous. Once that thing is getting close to the cheese hard, or leather hard, whatever you want to call it. I'm vegan, so I don't really know. I'm going to have to come up with something. Let's call it firm tofu, dry firm tofu hard. Once it reaches that stage, you can go back with I found with a very, very lightly damped sponge. Just damp it and wring it out as hard as you can, and go over it like real easy, and all that stuff comes off. You know, you get rid of it. And I'm not trying to add more moisture, so it's like a very, very dry sponge, and very lightly, and rinse it and squeeze it in between. Go around the inside of the bowl. You know, hopefully you've already done the edge, so that's not a big deal. But the sides where you touch it to make a spout or whatever, you just go over that real light, and you know, shortly after you set it to dry, and then let it get dry, and then you can go back and fix it more. So I wasted a lot of time in the beginning, but you know, now I've learned, and I think that's something that a new person might miss over, you know, might not see from watching the videos or whatever. But it's because it's not obvious. I think someone who's done it for a long time, there's a lot of things they're going to take for granted, and you know, hopefully that's why I'm doing this, because you know, I'm not taking it for granted because it's all new to me. So I hope that helps you. And if anyone has anything to add, please add it. Comments. Maybe you're experienced and you're hearing this and thinking, this is so obvious, you know. But to me it wasn't. So I'm thinking, and I'm an artist, and I'm very good with my hands, so I'm thinking, and I've worked with clay before, but not on the wheel, so I'm thinking maybe there's a lot of other people out there that are looking for this information. So that's the stuff that should be obvious, but really isn't to a beginner. So please put comments if you have something to add to this. Video comments, whatever. I'd appreciate it. I'm sure someone else would too. So thanks. Have a good day. Back on the wheel.